What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for stopping by. 700 of you guys, actually more than that. It's growing every day. Can't believe 700 or more want to stop by and hear me yap. And I think a lot of it's because of this dude. What came in this was this Bulova Lunar Chronograph. I did a review on it. Oh God, a while ago. I cannot believe that many people around the world have watched that. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. I never thought this piece in my review of it would be so popular. And it is popular. I get comments every day from you guys, and I try to answer all of them. If I fall behind, I am sorry. Since we've got so many views on this Bulova, since we're so many subscribers now compared to the 4 or 5 I started with, we're going to do a review of this little cheap quartz 80s Timex. No, I'm just kidding. We're going to see this guy again, see how I've liked it, loved it, hated it, what have you, over the last year or so of ownership. So first and foremost, the Lunar Chronograph that I purchased came in this case. I did purchase it pre-owned. Came with all the original stuff. You can watch the original video. Basically a strap changing tool, an original strap, and this sort of a carbon alligator leathery looking thing. The strap that sort of denotes the mission and the frequency response of the watch movement, or the frequency the watch movement is running at, I should say. Velcro strap. And then below this you have some other stuff like your world warranty cards and an instruction manual. Again, you guys can go watch that other video. I've only had to adjust the time once, and that was for daylight savings time. Literally not touched it other than that. I love the look of it. I've really grown to love the look of it a lot more than some of my polished watches. I really enjoy the satin finish versus the polish. If I'm wearing it on NATO, which I do quite a lot, I can do a brushed finished NATO, or I can do a NATO with polished finished pieces, and it works both ways. Because it's black and white and silver, it pretty much literally works with everything. I can do a bright orange NATO, which I'm not going to do. I can do a more subtle blue like I had it on today due to the blue shirt with the little watches with the blue straps on it. So yeah, I might be addicted to watches. Yeah, I can change it up super easily. If I can get this off. The back inscription has held up very well. I do wear this in the elements. I do wear this as a daily, not every day, but I do wear it at least once or twice weekly, sometimes on leather. So this is next to my wrist, sometimes on NATO, so it is rubbing against the NATO, and you can see it looks just about as nice as the day that it was manufactured. I did not purchase this watch new. I purchased it pre-owned on Watch You Seek from a gentleman who just didn't connect with it. And I can understand that. When this watch is posted online, there's one comment, always. The comment is, it's too big. Every time. So yes, it sits up high. Yes, it has long lugs, right? But it is not too big. It does not go past a 6 3/4 wrist. It goes to the edge of the 6 3/4 wrist and does look bigger than it is due to the long lugs. But this is no larger than the 45 millimeter Planet Ocean. This is only 0.5 millimeters larger than the Speedmaster Automatic Racing. It's literally about the same size as those guys, just the long lugs make it appear big, too big, to be quite frank. It does not photograph well. It is very difficult to photograph this on the wrist and not make it look like it's going over the wrist, as you can see as I move my hand. I would dare say the majority of comments that say this watch is just too big, that they could never do it, are from people who have not tried it on. It is surprisingly fitted on the wrist, even though in video, on film, whether it's video or photographs, it does look too big. But it is not when I look at it in person. So it's kind of a weird thing. And I should say too that that comment, it's just too big, really should be, it's just too big for me, or I wish they made multiple sizes. And I'm right there with you. I do wish they made multiple sizes. This is the first gen. It does have a date window. It does have the brushed case. The second gen has the original Bulova script from when the watch that this was modeled after would have been produced. It's a black PVD and no date window. Yet it's still 45 millimeters. They did not address that. I hope in the future, and I hope with little expectation, but I hope that they do make multiple models, because this watch, the only drawback I can find on this watch is that every time it's posted, someone complains about the size. I get it. If it's too big for you, I am sorry. I wish it was smaller. I get it. I wish they made at least a 42 and a 45 instead of just a 45. I get that. But it is not too big of a watch. It's just either too big of a watch for you, or you actually haven't tried it on and it just doesn't look good in photos. That's what I would say about this piece. As far as accuracy, it's one of my most accurate pieces. Quite frankly, the only thing more accurate is the Casio full metal square that I have, that is Bluetooth, that links to my phone, which in turn links to GPS, which in turn keeps everything completely accurate. Short of that watch, this watch is my most accurate piece out of 13, 15 some odd watches. The chronograph function is fantastic. I've used this on track days. You know, that's something else too. It is a large chronograph. I have a smaller chronograph in the JDM Speedmaster that I have, the 90s Reverse Panda. It's a much smaller chronograph, but I can't use it racing. I can't use it on track because I have to take my eyes off of the road too long to focus in on all the little functions. On this one, it's large enough that I can just glance and go. And that's what you want in a racing chronograph. You don't want a small chronograph unless you're using it for fashion's sake. And if you're using it for fashion's sake, then you really don't need to buy this watch or a dive watch, because that's not what they're designed for. These are tool watches. They don't care that they're big. They're big on purpose. They're big by function. And then if they look good that they're big, that's just a side bonus. Have I had any issues with it? No. I've had zero issues with it. I've had it for a few weeks older than that original video. I should have gone back and seen how long exactly I have had it. I'm not quite sure, but I've not had to change the battery. Again, I have not had to reset the time. The only thing I do is change straps, which, you know, I've already done once in this video. It's not a review. If you want a review, go back and look at the other review that I did do. I'll link in the description that review. But basically, this video is just kind of a follow-up. How do I feel about this watch? It's one of my 1 or 2 favorite pieces in my collection. And a thank you for stopping by. Thank you for all your support. Thank you for your subscriptions. Thank you for your comments. You guys are amazing. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say this is an amazing little watch. So, you know, have I beat it up? Have I banged it up? Yeah. The things I was worried about, the crystal being elevated off of the framework, off of the bezel there. Yeah, no problems, no chips, no scratches, no anything. The brushed format of the case, you know, I was worried about banging it up. I have, and you know, it's held up very nicely. So I can't speak for the bracelet model, how well the bracelet will hold up, and I can't speak for the straps in that I really don't use them. This one, let's be honest, I kind of hated it. It's I don't know, cheap feeling to me. I didn't like the clasp. I thought, you know, for the original price, you know, at least put a model name or a brand name on there or something. Yeah, don't like this. Never did. That's one complaint. The other complaint I guess I would make is on the Velcro. I've only worn the Velcro 3 or 4 times, and the edging, the stitching on the edging is sort of coming up. So that's kind of bad because it's not that hard to stitch things, right? So that kind of sucks too. The case has held up very nicely, and I've dropped this from like waist height onto concrete, and no issues, not even a chip. The watch itself has held up fantastically. My 2 complaints about this watch, and I have 2, it's ugly in photographs. It does not photograph well. It doesn't video well because of angles. If you get it straight on, looks great. If you get it at a slight angle, it looks too big. Doesn't matter how big your wrist is. So that annoys the crap out of me. Being that I have a fairly large Instagram following, I would like to post this more, and I really don't because it's hard to get that angle. The other complaint is the response to those really bad angles. It's just too big. It's too big of a watch. It should have been smaller. Dude, there are hundreds of watches that are this size or bigger, and they're not all god-awful Invictas. The X33 by Omega is larger, yet it photographs better. Those long lugs, man, those long lugs are terrible for photographs, for videos. But if you get it dead on, you see they don't go past my wrist. And yeah, it's a super, super comfortable watch. So thank you for watching. Keep it up. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.